All right, well, Minister of Electricity Kgosientsho Ramokgopa has repeated his warning of a bleak winter for South Africans. He confirmed that Eskom hasn't been able to stabilise the power grid because of its balance sheet and budget, and that 30 billion rand has been set aside for diesel, of course, during this winter period and beyond. So let's unpack this with energy expert Ruse Moleshe joining me this morning. Ruse, thank you so much for your time. Good morning. I mean, not an optimistic statement there by the energy minister, still expected as far as, blackouts are concerned this winter period. But what did you make in terms of what South Africans should expect?
Good morning, Melo. Good morning to the listeners as well. I think what we should expect is what we have been for the longest time telling the viewers, really, that the system Eskom has is quite constrained, and there are no credible interventions that have so far been put in place to be able to address that. The minister alluded to the fact that almost 25,000 megawatts in the system is outages. Of course, some are planned, which is about 3,000 megawatts. So that we should, therefore, as you know, demand during winter increases. So that then means that the system becomes even more constrained and we will be having difficulties. In terms of interventions is...
Right.
Yes?
No, continue, Jose.
Okay, so in terms of interventions, obviously we have not been able to realize some of the interventions envisaged, for instance, like the regional power that was supposed to be procured, the standard offer and the emergency power from other independent power producers. Those have not materialized yet. That is why we are now going to go into using diesel, which is really and not as such a sustainable solution. However, we don't have much of a choice.
Jose, I mean, I just wonder about the reliance of, these generating power units, because according to Bheki Nxumalo, Eskom executive, it seems when one generating unit or power station comes back on, then the other one breaks down. What's the expectation there in terms of this consistency in the breakdown of generating power units and stations?
I don't think Eskom can guarantee that. They're working very hard, as they indicated, in terms of trying to make sure that there's some reliability, trying to improve some of the energy availability factor unit by unit, but they can't really guarantee performance at this stage. You know that there was a target of 60% energy availability factor, which was not met. They only met 56%. So they can't completely guarantee that. However, they are working on making sure that they bring back the 3 units, which are Kusile coal-fired power plants, Unit 1 to Unit 3 by December 2023. So obviously that will miss winter, but it's a hopeful. We are hopeful for post-winter that at least that will be a significant input back into the system.
I want to also just quote the electricity minister here, Minister Ramakgopa, saying that there will soon be an announcement that we should expect from his office regarding an expansion to the grid capacity. I mean, he further said that a new framework for matching up grid capacity with potential power project is imminent. But are you optimistic of this announcement that's soon looming or coming from his office?
The issue is that with grid capacity, there's also time lags. So whatever the announcement will be, there will be a period of time before that is realized. What he did say, however, which is a little bit more encouraging, is that those projects that are queuing in the system and are hogging the infrastructure that is available and are not ready, they will be coming up with a system now that will make sure that the projects that are ready are the ones that have access to infrastructure. But in terms of rolling out transmission, distribution infrastructure, that's also going to take a bit of time. And so it's a good thing that they are focusing on it, of course, but we must not expect results like immediate.
Yeah, and in the meantime, how effective do you think cross-border power purchases from neighboring countries would be? I know that Mozambique, being one of those countries where bilateral agreements have been largely emanated from Mozambique, just as an example.
I mean, we've heard about this since the president announced the Energy Action Plan in July 2022. So for as long as there are no specific timelines, there's still negotiations between Eskom and Mozambique in terms of the trading of that power. So we've heard about that. The question is, can somebody put a timeline on it or not? That's a key question, and the availability of infrastructure is also a question in terms of transmitting that power. But it is a good thing. However, it will be important to know when is that feasibly going to make a difference in the system.
Well, timeline is important, according to you, Kgosientsho. I appreciate you speaking to us this morning. Ruse Moleshe, our energy expert, joining us right here on eNCA. We're talking all things the Energy Action Plan. That's an update from the Minister of Electricity alongside some of the Eskom executives and